guys, Comic Boom here to review Wonder Woman issue 52. Steve Orlando's second kick at the cat here. His first attempt at giving us his interpretation of Wonder Woman in issue 51 was a generic, somewhat disastrous, long, plodding disappointment. Let's see how he does with this issue, shall we? Let's check it out. Well, Steve Orlando, he introduced us to his interpretation of Wonder Woman in the previous issue of 51, and I was very disappointed in that. It was somewhat generic, but it was, I guess it was a feel-good tale. This is supposed to be, I guess, a further take on his interpretation of Wonder Woman, giving her an adventure with two other strong-willed women, Aztec and Artemis. Now, I'm a big fan of Artemis because I read Red Hood and the Outlaws and I love it. I've never reviewed for my YouTube reviews. I've never reviewed any issue of Red Hood and the Outlaws, but maybe I'll do a review of the first 25 issues because it's really good. It's actually probably my top 3 favorite DC series is Red Hood and the Outlaws, mainly because of Artemis here. I guess the only thing I got to say about Steve Orlando's writing in this issue, among other things, is that I wish he had bothered to read Red Hood and the Outlaws so he could better capture the voice of Artemis. He purports to have read it, or claims to have read it, because he references in an editorial note Volume 1 of Red Hood and the Outlaws. But Artemis has made some progress since then. That's what happens when you have 25 issues of character development in an actual comic book. But anyways, that's I'll talk about that in a bit. Now, this is a beautifully drawn comic book again, which seems to be the story of the Wonder Woman series from the beginning. Is great art, great art. The artist here is really good. I want to give a shout out to the artist because the writing is terrible, but the art's really good. Once again, they don't bother putting the, naturally it's at the end, they tell you who the artist is. The artist is Acco on the pencils. ACO, Acco. I love these people. I guess they don't want people to know their actual names. Acco is on pencils. He's done a really good job. David Lorenzo on the inks. Romulo Fajardo Jr. is on colors. Romulo Fajardo Jr., he's been on colors throughout Wonder Woman for quite some time. He's really good at it. He deserves a shout out there. Good job, Fajardo. As far as the story goes, Steve Orlando, man, God, man, you couldn't have... How could you make this story so confusing? I had to reread this thing about 4 times, and I'm still not exactly sure what's going on. But let me try to explain this in such a way that somebody can at least understand the gist of it. Bottom line is, we got this woman by the name of Aztec, who's got these powers where she inherits the helmet, this Aztecian helmet, and it's got the voices of all previous people who have worn the Aztec helmet, and voices speak to her from the past, and she's got the memories of all those that have worn the helmet in the past, and she's basically sort of a protector, and she's a protector of a mystical place, and she has voices of every former Aztec in her head, full centuries of war, who are at war against Tezcatlipoca. And apparently these voices give Aztec a headache, is what she says. Sort of like the headache I get trying to read this comic book. In any event, to just sum it up, because the dialogue is atrocious, Steve Orlando does a very bad job explaining what's going on, and not enough of the characters know what's going on. We readers are lost, but judging by what they end up doing, Aztec recruits Wonder Woman's help because she's got a vision of a missing Amazon by the name of Atalanta that is apparently trapped in a pyramid in this mystical place called Tezcatlipoca. And I guess because this Atalanta, this missing Amazon, they want to go rescue her. Wonder Woman wants to recruit Artemis to go rescue her. And Artemis, of course, is from a lost tribe of Amazons that broke off from from Wonder Woman's tribe of Amazons. And so Artemis wants to rescue Atalanta, to welcome Atalanta back to the Bengal faction of the Amazonian tribe world. And she doesn't want to, let's just say Artemis represents a different faction of Amazons than Wonder Woman does, and Artemis wants Atalanta back with her, and so they all want to rescue Atalanta, and so they end up somehow. I don't really understand how they end up at this place that's made of the eighth metal that hides it from normal eyes, but for whatever reason, maybe Wonder Woman can actually see it. For some reason, Aztec can see it because of her powers through her helmet. And I don't know why Artemis can see it, because she doesn't have any special powers that I'm aware of to be able to see that. None of this is explained. Eighth metal's not explained, as we've talked about before. Throughout the pages of Metal, the Scott Snyder's run that the Metal series did a terrible job explaining what all the metals do, because that was never adequately explained by DC. There isn't a single writer that it doesn't seem to occur to DC writers that when you're going, that do not assume that people know what you're talking about. Okay, when you reference nth metal, what do you think nth metal does? Tell the reader. When you reference the eighth metal, all right. So, give us some clue as to what it is. Like, it's just this random throwing crap at the wall, hoping something sticks. But all it does is create confusion. The art here is adequate. It's okay. I actually think the art, sometimes the art is really, really good. Because the detail is quite amazing, but it's very static. It doesn't show, the artist doesn't show, Akko doesn't show motion very well. The action scenes aren't that great per se. I never really get a sense of what's going on, but in fairness to the artist, that's Steve Orlando's fault, because it's clear that Steve Orlando doesn't know what he's writing or know what's going on, because if he did, I want to assume that if he knew what was going on, he would do a better job of being able to tell us readers what is going on. And I mean that with great respect, but I can't pull my punches here. This is one of the worst written comic books I've read in a long time. This is confusing, this is all over the place, and I just got to complain. Some of the reviewers online and on various websites are giving this thing a 10 out of 10. Are you guys on glue? Like, I'm sorry, but where on God's green earth are you getting that from? I mean, I challenge you to tell me what's going on here. This is a horribly written comic. Beautifully drawn, but just, it's all over the place in terms of story. I mean, imagine if I'm thinking to myself, God forbid there's somebody out there, a young adult who hasn't read a Wonder Woman comic in a long time, and they picked up this. Oh my God, they would be lost. Totally lost. I mean, this is just, Steve Orlando, of all the stories you could tell, is there a reason why you don't want your readers to understand what's going on? And why are you using Aztec? If you want to rescue an Amazon, why not have an adventure with Wonder Woman and Artemis, both Amazons that focus on Amazons, and they're both from Paradise Island. Artemis is from a lost tribe and Wonder Woman's from Amazon. They could have some tension. Why Aztec? She adds nothing but confusion to the story. Long, stupid names. I mean, come on. Tezcatlipoca? Q Society? I mean, my God, this is awful. I'm sorry, but man, you got like 2 or 3 issues to tell a story, and you right out of the gate you want to confuse the reader. Anyways, I don't really have a lot of nice things to say about this, so I'm just gonna say it's confusing, and I'm just gonna sign off. Again, the art's great, but guys, as story-wise, I gotta give this, man, this is gonna be low, 1.5 out of 10. This story is really bad. I'm not entirely sure what happened, and I don't care. I just want it over. I'm not looking forward to the next issue. I'm not looking forward, if there's, God forbid, there's going to be another one after that. I already want Steve Orlando off this book. He doesn't have a clue what he's doing. This is an awful story. This is a significant miss. Drop it. Don't pick it up. I don't even know if does this even have a variant cover? This cover is okay, I guess. It's a decent art. But I'm getting really tired of Wonder Woman comics where the art's fantastic, but the stories suck. Enough already. So guys, yeah, skip Wonder Woman issue 52, and hopefully, well, I'll probably review issue 53. Hopefully I won't have a full stomach on a full stomach. Anyways, good news is I am drinking Crown. something to dull the pain of trying to understand this comic. And until next time, guys, Comic Boom.